Tens of thousands of people have turned out in Dili for celebrations to mark 20 years since East Timor voted for independence.
But Australians and Timorese alike have also paused to remember the thousands of people killed during decades of brutal Indonesian occupation.
20 years on from their hard-won independence, and the celebrations are in full swing in East Timor. Tens of thousands of Timorese turned out for the official commemorations in Dili, partying long into the night. But this is also a time of sadness here in East Timor as locals reflect on 24 years of brutal Indonesian occupation. It was here at the Santa Cruz Cemetery on the 12th of November 1991 that one of the worst atrocities of Indonesia's occupation of East Timor occurred. More than 200 Indonesian soldiers opened fire on a group of unarmed civilians who gathered here for a memorial service for Sebastian Gomez, a pro-independence activist who'd been shot dead just a couple of weeks earlier. By the end of that day, at least 250 people were dead. This footage, shot by filmmaker Max Stahl, brought the horrors of East Timor to the world.
People were hiding behind tombstones. Some ran into the chapel to seek shelter. When they went into the chapel, there was some kneeling and praying. They were just trying to seek shelter wherever they could inside the cemetery.
Sandra Nelson fled East Timor as a 6-year-old in 1977, but many of her friends and relatives are buried here.
It's very emotional. You just think, you know, Matt, people died. They were here protesting unarmed, peacefully, to commemorate and honour the life of a man that was killed for no reason other than to be at church on the 28th of October that day and supporting independence. That's all he wanted.
Former union boss Martin Kingham's brother Robert was in Timor as an aid worker in 1991 and witnessed the Santa Cruz massacre.
He was subsequently identified by the militia as being basically pro-independence, and he was chased out of town and was traumatised by that event. He, to this day, is still traumatised by it. 8
years later, Martin Kingham would lead a union push for Australian intervention in Timor before coming to Dili to assist in the post-referendum recovery.
The town was on fire. Buildings were destroyed. People had no homes. Hospitals, schools, public buildings, you name it, were destroyed. So it was obvious to us what we needed to do, and that was to get in and help.
Matt Cunningham, Sky News, Dili.